Please put the plus, put the plus if you can hear me, if you can see me. Yeah, perfect. I was trying to set up 2 cameras. Hopefully it's everything is working perfectly. Great, so with you, Annette Martinson here again, this time from Latvia. As we know, a lot of borders are closed, and I came to see my family here months ago, and now unexpectedly, I will stay here a bit longer. But our business is great, the opportunity is great, and the platform we work with allows us to work from any part of the world, which is awesome. So our business doesn't stop, we keep going. As I say, every challenge, every situation can be overcome. So well done to all of you, because guys, you are also here with me, with us, and we keep moving and we keep changing the world, and we keep changing a lot of many people's lives. I hope you agree with me. Hi guys. So yeah, my name is Annette Martinson. I'm the member of Leadership Council. I'm also Vice President according to our new Consumer Community Partnership Program. I have graduated Master Profi multiple times, and I was very passionate to become the coach and to share this information around the world where people need this kind of information. And believe me, no matter which part of the world you live, everyone is following the same or similar educational system. So we all need the professional education. We need also the financial education. So I'm glad to be in this company and to share this information with everyone. I'm also proud to be the member of the World's General for Peace Association, and I think we will be doing a lot of things via this organization as well. So glad our company is participating in partnership, has a partnership with this association. And I have also kind of a background in sales and business development. Yeah, man, I speak 3 languages, Russian, English, and Latvian. So today I have this honor to interview a few people before our main topic. I can see some people are already writing in the chat. They are ready to share their story. Someone is very confident. So Shoaib, Fakir, if you just raise your hands, I will call you. You were kind of very, very fast in this. So whoever is going to come on this interview, please bear in mind that we have limited timing. So be on top of the game. Go by points and explain. Introduce yourself, where you're from, what do you do, what problems have you faced at the moment or so far, what did you do to change the situation, what is your result right now, and the recommendations for other participants in this marathon. So can we give the opportunity to speak the first person that I mentioned?
Hello.
Hello.
Anita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Hello, I'm from Latvia. Many people may know me, and I would like to say that the home task and the training, actually, I thought that leadership is only some traits and characteristics and is not difficult to do this task. It seemed to me very simple, but every time I realized more and more that by taking more steps, actually, it's not an easy job to feel responsible. I realized to be a true leader, you need to try very hard to learn a lot.
I think there was a wrong.
And the most important thing is to be responsible and to be held responsible.
Yeah, sorry, it was 2 people trying to speak at the same time, so I got confused. Someone who's in the English speaking room, I will give you the second, I give you the second Yeah, someone who is in English room, you will be speaking second. So can you please, someone in the Russian room, repeat it again, because I was really confused.
Hello. I am Dayanand.
Well, hello to everyone. My name is Lauris Murnieks. I am the consultant in the company, and for me, initially, actually, the topic of a leader was believed, or to be a leader is not is quite a simple job. You take some elementary steps, and people listen to you. You have your structure, your team, and you work with them. And actually, I thought that it is the true leadership. But when actually there were more expectations from me and more tests and trials, I realized that leadership is not so easy, because to become a leader, you need to train and learn more and more. And the most important thing I realized is you need to be responsible and to learn. Not expect that someone will train you, but to learn and self-develop. And actually, for me, it seemed to be quite easy at the beginning, but eventually I realized that it's quite a difficult job. And to be a leader, you need to read more, to learn more, and to feel responsible for yourself and others. And my recommendation to all you guys is to be responsible and become true leaders in our company.
Wow. Thank you, Laris. You said just right things, you know, it's a big responsibility, not just responsibility for yourself, but for other people. And it's ongoing kind of situation. If once you become the leader, you have to develop yourself, you have to grow, because you lead by the example, right? And if you're gonna step away, then you know, your leaders will be demotivated maybe as well of moving forward, and they definitely need our support, our guidance, our, you know, our hand, or sometimes our shoulder to cry on, and to tell us, you know, what, how and where they are struggling. And we need to recognize these weaknesses of the person and help them to turn into, you know, the strength. So yeah, thank you very much, Lauris. So the person who was speaking in English room, you are hopefully you are still here, and I'm happy to hear you.
Yeah, I'm
Hello.
here. Okay. Okay, so
Hello.
can I start? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you guys. So someone in English room speaking now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. All of you people from any corner of the globe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night also. I'm Shofakir. I'm from India, Maharashtra state, and my current rank in this company is consultant. I want to talk about M260 today, means Marathon 260 session today. I was delighted to these sessions because I learned a lot about this session. This session made me realize how much I should be worth. I'm very thankful to Marathon 260 for giving me such knowledge that I can use that knowledge and build it to my network. Yes, and my two recommendation to our Marathon 260 runners. First one is, one should keep on practicing, because practice makes perfect. So continuously to practice. And second one is, one should always try to fulfill our dream. And the last one is, I'm thankful to the speakers, Miss Anati, as well as the moderator, who give me the opportunity to speak here or share my story. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing as well. So was this the first time you kind of stepping up and being confident to share your story on a bigger audience?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon from Brisbane, Australia.
Okay.
My name is Taidua Tu. I was.
Yeah.
I'm a leader manager. I joined the company in July 2019, so 17 months now. And yeah, I want to talk about the session 24 about the it was first one was a connection system, and our homework is to find the leaders in your structure. I had 347 partner in my or a partner that include some client in my structure, and I got a lot of leaders. I got one top manager and 7 leader managers and the managers. So all those are good leaders. They develop into become good leaders in the company. So as we learned last week, and I was very impressed and motivated about those lessons that I learned. The leaders should have everything that he must ready to answer questions about the multi-level cloud investment system. He must ready to answer the question of any partner want to understand about the company and also the investment global investment portfolio. And I see and I see myself because every training and every presentation, I want to be present in there and learn a lot. So my recommendation to our company is to raise as as a good leader, like all the leaders that they were speaking in our marathon 2060, and I was very happy, and I'm so grateful for the leaders that beginning from our CEO and all the leaders who are speaking and teach and taught us about and motivating us about grow your business in our company. So that is my recommendation. Is have to be with the be present in the webinar. So we have to present in the webinar and all the training available from the company, and also during our team presentation, you have to be there and support other leaders. So that is my my recommendation to our partners in our marathon.
Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for your feedback as well. You also mentioned, all of you are mentioning good points, support leaders, support your teams, and not just your teams, but support, anyone who might need your help, who will reach out to you, because, I have witnessed sometimes the situation that the person has joined the business, but he has no idea what steps to take and what to do. So when they're reaching out to you, obviously you're finding out why can they not get support from their own business partner, and then not to turn them down and just say yes, okay, I can help you in some extent. But obviously we are supporting our teams, our structures, but at the same time the whole company, every person in this business is kind of our family, so we need to support. And I guys see you as all leaders. You are all leaders in my eyes. You are all doing great things. You have stepped up. You have made a decision that you don't want to have a fixed mindset, but growth mindset. You're all wanting to learn and educate yourself. You're all coachable, which is, one of the criteria of being a good leader. But at the same time, remember guys, Julia also reminded you just now, attending the webinars is just one thing. Remember to do the homeworks. Again, the homeworks is not for us. The homework helps you to, put the learning, the knowledge, the information into practice, and where it could be better than with the other people who are right now passing this marathon. Right? If you're not going to do it right now, then you might be failing later on. So now is the best time to test all the knowledge, to test all the the tools, put them into practice, understand what mistakes you might do, and then obviously you go and build it business locally and globally. And remember, like one suggestion from my side, when you do the presentations, because I saw a lot of people posting on a Facebook that you are doing one-to-one presentations, not only here, but when you are going out there and speaking to your potential partners and you haven't, what you need to do is basically after the presentation, you need to do your analysis. You need to figure out what went good, what didn't go good. Yeah, what could be better, what could you do better, and what you shouldn't be doing. And when you do these first presentations to partners outside the marathon, you know, whenever you're going to be analyzing your meeting, it will help you also to understand how you can improve every time. So don't do it just within the marathon groups. Do it also after the real presentations in the real world. It will definitely help you to see your mistakes, or, you know, to see the areas that you need to improve, what questions maybe you need to ask at what time. Because remember, the successful leader asks the right questions at the right time. Okay, and when you speak less and the other person speaks more, you know, your potential partner, you know that the person is open and they're ready, you know, to receive some sort of information. All right, so let's move forward. Thank you very much for the speakers so far. So who would love to come on stage, kind of stage? Maybe some partners from different rooms, because I can only see English rooms, of course. Maybe Russian, Spanish, Italian. I would love to see, would love to come out and explain, you know, how did you define the leaders in your structure?
Hello.
Hello?
We have
Yes,
someone
madam.
from the Spanish route, Spanish, because you said that English has already exhausted their chances.
If just whoever is monitoring it, just make sure you are giving the hands to the right people. Just one person at a time. Otherwise it's confusing. Okay, someone from Spanish?
Yeah, waiting for them to connect.
Okay. I guess we're still waiting. Something with connection? Dennis, what's going on there?
Yeah, the Spanish student dropped. We're waiting for the Italian this time.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Grigorio. I'm from Calabria, consultant, and I've been in the company for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we had some problems with the coronavirus, and now we need to study a lot of things, how to navigate Zoom and all the applications. Therefore, we meet our newcomers and my team through Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have some specific questions you would like to ask me?
So how did you complete or define the leaders in your structure? Was it easy for you or it was difficult? You know, did you pay attention to these leaders before or only after homework, and how do you work with them?
Yes, I coped and managed to do this home task. And honestly speaking, to define a leader and to identify a leader is quite a difficult job. To train him or her, and particularly at present. But in any case, I see the result in my structure. I see a few leaders in my structure already.
Okay. And do you do some specific trainings with your leaders as well, or just with the entire structure? How do you train your leaders?
Well, training, I train them after some dinner, we meet, and I can train them through Zoom and share all the knowledge I get from you with them. This is the way I train them.
And how many leaders do you have in your structure, may I ask?
I have 2 leaders. At present, 2 leaders in my structure.
Okay. And how many more leaders do you want to grow by, let's say, by October?
I would like to have 8 by October.
Good number. Very good.
Or even more.
But it's good. It's a good start. Well done to you. Well, I wish you all the best, and hopefully the internet will work for you and there won't be any internet connections in Italy because of the virus, which I guess shouldn't be. And now is the best time, you know, to work with your leaders using the Zoom and empower them and show them the power of our mission and of our project and what we are trying to achieve here. So well done to you. Thank you. So I have one more person. I have time for one more person who would love to come and speak. So many hands are raising. Gosh, guys. So anyone from the Russian room maybe?
Annette, we have someone from the Spanish-speaking chat.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Damyant. I am from the Dominican Republic. Now I am in New York. It is 3 a.m.
Wow.
And I managed to work with my dreams, my goals, and to define those people that already set some goals for themselves. And as regards the leaders and our home task last time, when we talk about leaders, you should never be disengaged from them. You need to contact and cooperate with each other, and because of the situation the world encountered, you need to use all the tools such as Skype, Zoom, and this way we will find those people who will tell us, yes, I want to enroll to this business, I like it. And we need to invite people, this is our task. And I had such situations when not all the people may be interested in investing, and they are not interested in what I'm doing now. And therefore, every week, I inform the people and give them information, important information of what our new economic evolution of the world is about. And I'm doing this for sharing this information with all the others. And therefore, always you need to inform and keep your people aware, because the way the information is presented, the people will get interested. And those people who I talked something 1 year ago, they then said that they are not interested, but now actually they bought the first package. It means that you never should lose your heart and continue informing them, but at the same time, you should understand that sometime after they may join. And actually our Spanish student lost his voice, his sound.
Oh, okay. That's a shame, because I was about to, you know, ask how many leaders he has in his in his structure. But I guess we have lost him. Yeah.
Now he's back.
Okay. So how many leaders he has in his structure at the moment, and how many he wants till the end of the marathon?
Сколько как бы у него лидеров сейчас в структуре и сколько лидеров он бы хотел, ну, скажем, получить в будущем?
You translated in the wrong room.
Sorry. So far I have 4 leaders, but I would like to have more and more leaders. And because the intention of any person is to strive for growth. And therefore, like any person, I would like to have more leaders. And therefore, I want to say that this is realistic. You simply need to believe in your strength, in yourself. And yes, you may encounter a lot of difficulties throughout our journey, but only success is at the end of this road. And therefore, my recommendation is never give up and progress forward.
Okay, I won't accept your answer. How many leaders you want to have till the end of marathon? More and more is not the answer. What is the number?
Annette, by the end of March, right?
No, by the end of marathon.
Количество...
Remember, guys.
My goal is 144, the maximum goal.
Wow.
But my structure today has 12 leaders. And the goal is to grow from these 12 leaders, so to grow up to 144. I believe you understand what I mean.
Wow, that's very ambitious. I guess it's in the first line, you mean in the whole structure. Please, guys, while he's answering, put your number. How many people, how many leaders you have in your structure right now, and how many leaders you want to have in your structure by the end of the marathon? Put in the chats. And I'm gonna go to the next to the next slide. Everyone, we are changing. I want to invite my very good friend and amazing colleague and you know, supporter whenever I need, a great person to talk to whenever you feel down. Very helpful person. I'm glad to know him and for him to be in my life as well, as an extended family. And yeah, Harin, I hope you're there. You have to now take over and give us an amazing presentation, amazing information about the finances. So your floor is, I give you the floor. And do
Thank you.
You're the best.
The floor is mine.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you, Annette. Everybody just go to the chat, give your accolades to Annette Martinson. After quite some days, she is back and she's given a wonderful, you know, interview and also her insights, and she managed to extract wonderful information from a lot of people. If you can hear me, if you can see me, just give me a thumbs up on the chat. That means absolutely everything is working, and I will try to do an awesome good job. So my name is Harin Arun. I'm a representative of the Leadership Council. I'm a top manager within our company. I'm a certified master profi in Genius of Finance coach host, and I'm a member of the World's General for Peace, a professional investor, entrepreneur, speaker, and I've successfully completed 2 degrees in my lifetime, one being in business and the other one in software engineering. So for all of you, the last speaker that we had, the last person that was interviewed, I was quite pleased how she said 144 people by end of marathon, I think that's what she said. That was a wonderful, wonderful goal. And just before we go into our session, the 2 things I want you guys to do. One is take a piece of paper and keep it right beside you. And I would like to take access back on the slides so I can share slides myself. Cool. All right, so first thing first is I want you guys to take a piece of paper, keep it right beside you, okay? Because this session, whatever I'm going to tell you to do today is very dependent on what we are going to do forward, okay? Again, we are back with another finance topic, another finance module for say, and it is going to be interesting. So first thing, just like our friend, how she said she is going to have a certain number of partners involved in a group in first level or leaders. And also it comes to terms of income. So first, I want you guys to put down in a piece of paper, how much income would you like to achieve by every month in terms of this business, like as a passive income. So for some people, it might be $1,000 every month. For some people, you might want to do this as a career. This could be $10,000 every month. For some people, $100,000 a month is going to be interesting. So I want you guys to write this on a paper. If you feel free, you can put this on the chat as well, just for some encouragement. That's the first thing. The second one is, how many people would you like to have within your structure by end of the year? That is the first one. And how many people of that you want to have in your first line, so your front line. I want you guys to put the number as well, and I'll tell you what to do with this number at the end of this call, because it is going to be a challenge. Apart from that, how many of you still remember the 8 rules of private investor, the 5 commandments, and the 5 commandments? Give me a yes on the chat. Or if somebody wants to be more proactive, you can absolutely put all the 8 rules. But in that exact same piece of paper, I want you to, as you're listening to what I'm teaching, quickly write down what you remember, okay? 8 rules of private investor and 5 commandments, because once you have repeated this on a piece of paper from your mind, this session from today and whatever that we have done is going to be very helpful. If you guys agree with this, repetition is definitely going to be beneficial. Say yes, and we'll move on. Cool. So the first topic for the day, okay, it is the foundations of hedging. Now, as a lot of people are putting yes and da in the Russian chat, I can see 266 participants in Russian today and about 301. So it's about an average good number that we have. How many of you understand or know what is hedging? If you're going to explain this to your 5-year-old child or your nephew or a niece or your cousin, how would you explain hedging to them? Put it in the chat. Let's see. So I'm getting a lot of no's there. Bets, okay, so Bob Fordham said bet each way. Annette Martin said, ensure your investments with other instruments, minimizing risk. Security around you, kind of. Diversity, so that when people do investments up or down, it'll be up in value. Now, this is a very personal question, okay? How many of you own a house? How many of you have a life insurance, a home insurance, or a health insurance? If any of you have any of this kind of insurance, then give me a 5 for a yes, or give me a 6 for a no. Okay, so we have a lot of fives, lot of fives, lot of fives. Okay, awesome. Few sixes. Okay, I can see one homeowner just said I have insurance. Perfect. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Just had a slight technical hiccup. So hedging essentially comes down to a simple, the easiest way I could explain it is like an insurance. Okay. When you are sick, when you are, not in the full health, when you have a house, you might have fire, you might have robbery, you might have, somebody breaking in. All this has an insurance. So basically you retain the value of your home, of your life, or of your health. So when insurance such things happen, you basically get a payout, or essentially your car, if it's a car insurance, your car is replaced as is. It's to minimize risk. So a lot of people in the financial markets do hedging. So it's for risk minimization, insurance against losses. Obviously, when we are investing in forex markets, gold markets, in whatever property or anything, people hedge it, or some people might even call it shorting it. How many of you have actually seen the movie The Big Short, as I mentioned on my previous call? If if you have, give me a yes. And if you would have seen that movie, The Big Short, you would know that's a classic example of hedging. All right, if you have not seen it, then after this session, you probably need to go and see it, because that's going to give you a bit more perspective on how finance market works. So it is quite simple. So in a long way, some big organizations might do hedging in a way where they build their own factory in a different country, so that goods manufactured there can be sent into suppliers and customers without having the worry of currency fluctuation. And this is a security measure, so that currency doesn't play in their business. For example, you might manufacture something for $10 somewhere, but it might be, even when by the time you meet the cost of sending something over, you might end up having more cost. So hedging here is kind of like an insurance where you are minimizing loss. That's the simplest way I can say it. And the textbook definition here is hedges insurance against fluctuations, price of goods, currency, stocks, or other instruments. Hedging is also carried out mainly through futures and options, and most ordinary investors, they won't even probably use it. This, for a lot of people, you are subconsciously already doing it. Okay, so how many of you think hedging is the best method if you want to be involved in a financial market? Give me a 7 for yes. Give me 8 for no.
Harin, what was the question again? Sorry.
How many of you think that hedging is one of the best methods for realization? That was the question. If you agree, 7 for yes, 8 for no. Awesome. So now, from the way I explained it, I can go on and on about how hedging is done. For example, in stock market or forex market, when we do a buy or sell order, some hedges might do one buy order and one sell order. When I mean buy order, one saying the market goes up and the one says market goes down. And they might minimize their risk by saying either way it goes, I would still make money. So most of people do it that way in the hedging market in forex. So I want you guys to write down in the piece of paper, just put a heading there saying hedge or hedging, and put in your basic understanding on what you think hedging is and how would you explain it to a 5-year-old kid. So that way you will have more retention, because this is your notes. And also, while you do that, I want you guys to think about what kind of methods or what kind of instruments or what kind of markets are out there which allows you to do hedging. So it might come straight away on top of your head. Okay, I've given you some examples as well. So let's see how many of you have written that. Cool. So a lot of people in the finance market are after reliability. All right. Or in other words, like a for sure kind of investment. In other words, I would say risk-free, or for example, you know, this is something reliable. I'm more than happy to do. All right. So how many of you think you know such reliable instruments in the market? Now just put it on the chat. Like Shane here has said, commodities such as minerals, grains, metal, sugar, cotton, livestock, oil. These are one of the, you know, reliable markets out there. Susan Glynn have said, if I want to explain this to a 5-year-old person, I would talk about savings account. That's an amazing example, okay, of you know, having a hedge or some kind of insurance. Michael McCohan have actually said commercial property, silver, oil, depends on what government, it all goes. So I want you guys to write down exactly how you see this on the screen with reliability, with 4 things around it. One is profitability, one is liquidity, next one is risk, and with guarantee. All right, and I want you guys to, you know, I can see a lot of people, you know, a lot of people putting in their examples on the chat, which is amazing. So we are gonna solely focus on this 4 definitions on how reliability can be achieved in a finance market when you are dealing with investments or anything related to finance. How many of you are excited about that? To know how can I minimize? Because a lot of people here have mentioned to me, I want to be a great investor here. I want to know how do I actually get in this properly. Some people have said, you know, I love investments. I see a lot of people make money in investments, but I don't know how to do it. You know, so my simple way of explanation, before you want to, you know, walk, you just got to crawl, and before you want to run, you're going to train for it and things like that. Okay, awesome. So when it comes to profitability, we have, you know, the textbook definition is very simple: the estimated level of profit received from an investment object, such as securities, company stock, bills, bank deposits. You can even add cryptocurrency in there. You can even add commodities in there if you like. And also profitability is an indicator of the profitability of an enterprise or a business project. So we have something with the high profits and medium profits and low profits, all right? Now, how many of you know what could be the 3 divisions, or the 3 different categories of profitability which is out there? How many of you can say what is high, what is medium, what is low? So let's see how our people respond to this, which is going to be interesting to watch. And I want you guys to now go into the chat and look what our members are saying, what our partners are saying. Cool. So the chat is okay. So someone said Bitcoin is high risk. So the question is, if you know some examples of high profit instruments, medium profit instruments, and also low profit instruments which are out there, which can give you more profit, or the level of profits. So let's see in the chat. So some have said blue chip stocks. Some have said low profit means savings. So he's technically speaking about, you know, a term deposit. Someone has just put gold over there. All right, so managed insurance. So high profitability in gold, real estate. Perfect. Hope you guys are taking notes, because this is going to be very helpful for your homework today. Gold is real estate. stock markets. Cool. Startup companies. That's something which is catching up in our lifetime right now. Cool. Amazing. Cool. Okay. So when it comes to profits, everyone here is after profits. Even we, TNG, NEW, our organization, we are after profits as well. Okay. We have the Basalt technology. We have Sushi Masters. We have the innovative transport technology. We have the Shikards technology, which is IT based. And we have many more, which we are getting into. And obviously, when it comes to the investment department, or even Andre Horato himself, he would already categorized each of the instruments that we are getting into. Again, I'm asking this question again. Do you guys know how many sectors that we are going into? Put it in the chat, okay? If you know it. All right, so there you go. Everybody knows. Perfect. I like asking this question. It's just, again, repetition. So when we categorize it that way, we can actually measure what kind of profits our organization is going to achieve, and when we can pay, and what can we do with the profits and move forward. There's a very classic example out there, which I can tell you is when my grandparents or my great-grandparents, okay, or a lot of people can actually relate to this. There are people quite some back, they used to buy Rolex watches. They used to buy gold or silver bars, okay? And then now if you look at the value for such items, they are quite interesting to look at. When gold bars were, which could be worth $1 some long time ago, suddenly is now worth hundreds and thousands of dollars. All right, so this gives high profits, over time. So profitability. All right, if you guys understand this, put it in the chat. And how many of you like, losses? Let's see how many of you embrace losses. Let's see in the chat. How many of you understand that there are risks and losses when investing? And when I mean investment risk, probability of you losing everything that you put in, or partially of what you invested, a shortfall or a non-receipt of planned profit, like you're not receiving an expected profit. Or again, we're talking about you absolutely losing everything. For example, I can give you a very simple example where, how many of you know what was Brexit? BREXIT. Okay, and while I'm asking you why people like losses and risks, it is actually in the 8 rules of private investor. The reason why I told you to write this down, how many percent of money do you have to put aside, and how do you actually minimize your risk and losses? Because it's all in the rules. Like if you ask me, there you go. So everybody's saying save 10%, diversify your funds. There you go. So you guys know this. When you understand what liquidity, profitability, risk, losses are, together with the rules, it's actually an ecosystem. It actually works as a, symposium. They're working together. So when you have a rule book on what to do and actually markets out there, when you have applied the knowledge together, then you're actually going to be a better investor. So do you think we have already given you the tools since day one, how to minimize risk, what to do in investments, understand what profits are, understand what hedgings are, understand how risk guarantees work? If you think we are absolutely doing that at one step at a time and truly preparing you into the pathway of becoming someone who's financially literate, give me a 7 for a yes, or give me an 8 for a no. And how many of you are excited that we just gave you the Karate Kid, way of teaching method? And in other ways, we like to say it's Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi. How many of you remember Mr. Miyagi? Cool, lots of 7s, which is very good, very good, very good. Awesome. So liquidity, all right. Now I'm going to actually speak about liquidity a bit more in detail. Now, how many of you know what does it mean to have a liquid market? All right, and give me some examples of market. All right, so Jenny Carter has just said cash out. Okay, cash, simple. Anybody else? Anybody know what a liquid market is? How quickly assets can turn into a cash? All right, how many of you absolutely have no idea what liquid means? Some people might say liquid means H2O or water. Cool. Forex, shares, gold, cash, cash, cash. No idea. Awesome. Now I want you guys to think about, in again layman terms, okay? Assume, okay, let's just assume that somebody wants to sell a fridge or a cooler, okay, which is worth $1,000. Okay, you guys are following me? If you can write this down on your piece of paper. Somebody wants to sell a product, or like a fridge or an aircon or whatever, for $1,000. Okay, awesome. And then assume that cash is the most liquid asset that can be easily used to obtain it. For example, if I take $1,000 of US dollars or Aussie dollars, depending which country I am, and if I go and give $1,000 to exchange it, okay, I would automatically have the fridge or the refrigerator or the cooler. Okay, but imagine that person doesn't have cash, but they have let's say a stamp collection which is worth $1,000. You guys following me? If you're following me what I'm trying to say, give me an 8 for yes or give me a 9 for no. Okay, so imagine that you don't have the cash, but you have a stamp collection which is worth $1,000. So if you want to go and give that stamp collection, here you go, $1,000 worth of stamp collection, and give me the fridge. If the person is willing to accept that, then that deal goes on well. But how many of you have stamps sitting in front in your room, or how many of people out there are readily available to go buy that stamps? How liquid is the stamp market? In other words, how many people are out there rushing to go buy stamps? Like imagine you are sitting there and you have stamps and cash. Which one do you think will go out first? Cash or stamp? A lot of people are saying cash. Amazing. So in that method, okay, in order for them to have the cash again, the person, okay, need to either sell it at the discount and have a loss, or they just have to wait for a long time to find the right buyer and sell it $1,000 or even slightly more, which is a great deal. But the market is not liquid, because for cash markets, it's almost instant. All right, quick, fast. But when it comes to a stamp market, it is going to take a very long time. So cash is a great example of a liquid market or liquid asset. And the rare stamps or the stamps that somebody has, I would say is just an illiquid asset. It just is not liquid at all. So you have here the textbook example. Liquidity is basically an economic term for ability of assets to be quickly sold at a price close to the market. All right, so you have illiquid market, low liquidity, medium, high. So cash would be high liquid market. Bitcoin, if you go into the trades in coin market cap today, you are going to see a lot of trades happening every day. If you go and click on Bitcoin, you're going to see how liquid the market is. It will tell you how much sales is done within a day. And then again, some people talk about real estate liquidity, and some people talk about, you know, gold and things like that. Like gold is considered one of the highly liquid market. Silver is considered one of the highly liquid market. Like, you know, a lot of people, you know, selling gold in terms of jewelry. That's why you see a lot of jewelry shops out there. Okay, now you guys think the definition, how I explain liquidity, you can understand, put it there, or if you have any questions, put it in the chat, because I truly want you guys to understand how liquidity works. Cool, perfect. Now, the foundations of creating an investment portfolio with a yearly capital of growth of 100% or more, you guys really need to understand this. I want you guys to write this down in the piece of paper as well that you have, because this piece of paper is going to be one of the most important papers that you have. Sorry for other chatting groups and other rooms. I'm sorry, I'm not telling you to change the slide. So thank you for looking at English and changing it. The admins are doing a wonderful job. Thank you guys. So liquidity and profitability, we spoke about them. Risk and losses when investing, prospects and security of your investment. Again, we spoke about basics of diversification and hedging. Okay, I spoke about diversification last week, how we can diversify the market and things like that. Foundations of portfolio balancing and fundamentals of creating an investment portfolio. If you have this 5 knowledge, if you can slowly understand, if you guys understand that, if you basically building yourself into all this knowledge, I think you'll be a fairly good investor out there, a fairly good person who actually understands the liquidity, the goodness in the market. How many of you agree with this, and how many of you now have a slight bit of confidence? Yes, Heron, after joining Marathon 260, I have a tiny bit of hope and faith and a little bit of confidence that I can do something in the finance market. Give me a 5 for a yes, give me 6 for a no. All right, so these are some of the profitability investment markets that I can show you, in terms of what kind of profits you can expect. Okay, so bank deposits in 5 years. Again, we spoke about a very low risk, low profitable market. You're looking approximately at 50% as a 10% growth a year. Okay, insurance funds, life insurance, obviously, 50%. Stock market, currency markets, I can tell you they even go beyond anywhere between 300 to 2,000%. Some people have said, I got a 10,000% increase in capital within 5 years, which is exciting. Again, just like everything we do, there is a learning curve. All right, not everyone who just goes in into the stock market or in Forex today puts in $1,000 and then start trading and then suddenly makes $100,000 within 24 hours. That's all unheard of. Okay, if you're doing something like that, then I definitely want to see you, my friend. But I've really unheard of that kind of market and that kind of growth, but then progressive growth, which is something amazing. And when my late father was alive, he is tell a lot of people, when because he was a Forex trader himself, would you prefer something consistent? When I mean consistent, that something pays you some kind of profit, even if it's a small profit, daily, consistently, or would you prefer to make one-time big money and then nothing for rest of the days? So which one do you prefer, consistency, or you prefer something which is comes in just one time? Okay, so consistency. So we want some kind of security, we want some kind of guarantee that we are receiving something every month, daily. Okay, so again, see, all of you guys are amazing here. So consistency, which is absolutely great. So cryptocurrency market, we can see massive growths and losses. Like, how many of you are watching the cryptocurrency market the past week? It is absolutely performing in a direction. A lot of traders are, really holding on to it. The real estate market, you can expect anywhere between 100 to 300% in 5 years. And again, watch the movie The Big Short, how the traders and how the investment fund managers, they plan ahead. All right, and then you have investment companies, they give 300 to 700%. High risk investment companies, we talk about, HYIP funds in cryptocurrency. Again, they are very high risk, but they have the biggest amount of returns. Okay, the MSCI crowd investing, our company, we have the portfolio, we have the, our marketing plan and setting up, a business for itself in network marketing. And that definitely has the biggest amount of returns as well. Look at Armand Moniax, less than 5 years, he was $1 million earner, and there's a lot of people following through. We have many 6-figure, 5-figure earners, also 7-figure earners in our company. And then equity participation, getting into startup companies, getting into IPO markets, getting into new businesses. For example, the first person invested in Facebook, the first person invested in Netflix, the first person who invested in Amazon, like the Alibaba, the lady who was a cleaner in Alibaba's company got offered some shares, and you know, she is now a millionaire or billionaire. Okay, so things like that happens. You know, sometimes you make one right call, you'll be making some really good money. So the equity participation, obviously our innovative transport technology that we have, we are all in the forefront. Andre Horato himself is in the forefront. So when that happens, it is going to be one of the most profitable investments we have out there. So profitability, all right? So these are some examples out there. And investment portfolio, again, we have conservative, mild, aggressive, okay? In a 100% point of view, a conservative segment for guaranteed kind of profit is about 40%, low risk is about 30%, medium risk 20%, high risk 10%. That's some kind of a conservative investment portfolio. Somebody might have that. For example, you might invest in just all the low risk markets, like, you know, gold in the long term is going to go up. You know, a real estate in a new area is going to be good. So if you look at that person's portfolio, they might have a guaranteed money maker, and then they'll have a very low risk money maker on the higher side, and the high risk will be very less. But then you have the mild people who always like, okay, I'm in the middle. I'm always going to be, I'll take a chance, but I won't take a big chance. Okay, they will be in the mild category. So they'll have a 30% guaranteed segment, and high risk will be around equal, and then low and medium risk will be around 20%. Now they will be working around that. But they are the aggressive traders who are risk takers. They don't absolutely care what's happening in the market, and they'll be like, who cares about guaranteed? Guaranteed is low money, but I will go big. I will go big this time. I'll put in $100,000. I'll make $1 million. There are a lot of aggressive traders like that. If you know anyone, or if you're like that, put in the chat. Put a 4 if you are some kind of aggressive trader, or put a 5 if you're like, Heron, I'd rather be in the mild. If you're a mild kind of trader, put a 3. If I'm going to be a conservative trader, I'm happy with what I'm going to get, I know the risk, I understand the guarantees, I understand what I can do, put a 1. All right, so let's see how many of you are willing to be in which category. And this is a good benchmark. If you guys want to write this down, I prefer writing it down. How many of you want to take a snapshot of this particular site? Please go ahead, because you will be quite interested, because just like how we had the level of investors previously, this will also give you your portfolio, how your portfolio is going to work. All right, so again, as we went along with this session, I told you guys to write down examples of a guaranteed liquid profit, high profitability, low profitability, medium profitability, and also risks in terms of some instruments. I think we have covered this along the way, and if I want to repeat, there are the oil markets, commodity markets, there are real estate, there are simple saving bank accounts. There are also, some people just buying, gold or silver, jewelry. Some people buying some kind of investing into new technology. Some people having bonds, government bonds. That is a very good one, which I didn't mention, government bonds. Some bank bonds are also available. So these are some of the instruments which are out there. If you guys know any instruments, let's put it down here. And I think now your homework 25 would be completed if you would have followed me along the way. Okay, because I have been telling you to write all this down since the session. How many of you think you have pretty much your homework 25 almost done? Right? Because all we want you to do is write down 5 instruments in terms of guarantee, liquidity, profitability, and risk. What are the 5 instruments out there which you can, which you know of? So I think a lot of people are just putting done here, so which is amazing. All right, so guys, the reason why I did it this way is this is one of the way you guys can finish your homework, is actually participating full on in a session. And now your homework's done. You pretty much now just have to go and relax, have a cup of tea, which is amazing. Now, for how many people don't understand what the homework is, put in the chat. I'm more than happy to explain that. Now, do you guys remember at the start of the call, I asked you to write down what kind of income would you like to make? And also, you know, what kind, how number of people that you like to have in your structure, and also how many people in your front line. All right, and a lot of people are asking me, I don't really understand what the term of instrument means. Okay, so instrument in simple layman terms, okay, you have the drum, you have the trumpet, you have the clarinet, you have the piano, we call them instruments. In other words, I like to also say instruments also means like different sectors, different categories, okay, different segments of investment, okay. So in terms of, you know, we have commodities, we have real estate, we have, you know, different types of different types of investment methods or types or things to do. All right, that's what I would say instruments are. Now, the reason is a lot of people, you would have given a lot of thought in writing down how much income that you're going to make. Okay, now some people, when they only put $1,000 or they put a $10,000 income they want to earn a month, and $100,000 income a month. Okay, some people only work for the income they want. Okay, like Annette Martinson here have actually said, real estate is the segment, hotel, lands, flats, shops, different types of particular you know, particular instruments within that segment is how you would categorize it. So for example, commodities, the segment, you have silver, gold, and things like that to go from there. Now, Grant Cardone, how many of you know who is Grant Cardone is? All right, if you don't know Grant Cardone, I want to write down this name and do a quick Google search, okay? Because Grant Cardone, okay, or Grant Cardone, he's biggest learning, all right, is actually 10x. Okay, if you guys know what is 10x, put 10x in the chat. Okay, and his way of teaching is actually whatever you want to do. If you want to have $100,000 income per month, he said do that 10 times. All right, Grant Cardone, I'll actually put it in the chat. GRANT CARDONE. Okay, Grant Cardone. All right, he said if you want to make $1,000 income, do that 10 times. All right, if you want to have 100 people in your structure within the year, do that 10 times. All right, if you want to have 10 people in your structure, then do that 10 times. What that does, it now gives you
Karen, could you please go back to the Grant Cardone, what he says again? Thank you.
Okay, so Grant Cardone. Okay, so before I go back to Grant Cardone, just put in the chat if you have written what kind of income you want to achieve for the month or the year, the amount. Also, how many people would you like to have in your structure by end of the year or by the end of marathon? And also how many people you would like to have in your front line by the end of the year or by end of the marathon. If you have that, then just give me a 1 in the chat. If you don't have it, put 2. If you don't have it, I would like to quickly for you guys to decide that and put it in. Okay, so Grant Cardone, I'll spell his name again, GRANT, and the surname or the last name will be Cardone, CARDONE. Okay, now his biggest teaching out there is actually 10x. Okay, the number 10 with the letter X, or in other words, it's actually 10 times. Okay, and the reason why I'm telling you to do this, and he believes in this principle, when somebody puts down an amount, they only work for that amount and they settle. Okay, so if I want to work for $1,000, people will only work for $1,000. They will only put an effort for $1,000, and then they make 700, and then they'll be happy. okay? But Grant is saying do 10 times that, okay? If you subconsciously, mentally, and psychologically you say, I can do 10 times better than that, then you will put the maximum amount of effort to work on that. And what will happen is you will be working on a pathway where you're doing 10 times more effort, 10 times more results can be achieved. And that is why I'm telling you, whatever amount that you have written down, put 10 times, and that is going to be your new goal. Because if you are sitting in front of Grant right now, he will tell you to 10 times it again. I'm only telling you to 10 times it one time. Because now you have a new number, new vision out there, which you're definitely going to work for that number. It means you're going to put 10 times more effort. You're going to be 10 times more focused. You're going to be 10 times more attentive. You're going to be 10 times more committed to your journey. Okay. So with that, my friends, we come to the end of our session. Thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward for a lot of people to be in tonight's session. Thank you, Annette. Thank you to translators, and thank you to our admin. Stay classy, everyone. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.